Hollow Knight Silksong is terrible. Either way, I really like Silksong, but there are a couple of things I don't like about the game, like rules the same just like the previous one with Hollow Knight. Let's get into it. Number 1, Morwing. Morwing was a painful boss to fight. It was the only boss in Act 1 which gave me a lot of trouble when I was fighting it. It was truly an annoying experience, especially the pre-patched Morwing. Number 2, Savage Beastfly. I hate this boss, truly with all of my black heart. I hate Savage Beastfly, especially the second one on Lava Arena, which killed my Steel Soul run. Number 3, Flying Enemies. Flying enemies in Silksong are even worse than the ones in Hollow Knight. Instead of getting closer to the player, they get as far away as they can, and hitting them is sometimes beyond impossible, like those flying enemies in Coral Tower. Hitting them is beyond impossible, or there's Nargas in Sand of Karak. I hate him so much. Just like Hollow Knight, Silksong has problems with tool balance. For example, most yellow tools are basically useless. There are a couple of actually pretty useful ones, but there are more of those useless ones there. Tools are weirdly categorized. Some really would benefit from changing a category, and some would really need a rework buff or being removed from existence. While waiting for Silksong, there was the first trailer, the reveal trailer in 2019, and then there were screenshots in, I think it was the Edge magazine, there was an Xbox trailer, and there was one thing that was easy to notice, and it was that the blur was getting stronger. And I was honestly hoping for blur intensity option in Silksong. I really wanted that, but we never got it. And most of Silksong assets are pretty high quality, unlike Hollow Knights, but I hope we're gonna get a blur intensity option, because I really wanna appreciate the art in Silksong. Linear routing is pretty self-explanatory. There is like one route to get to Bellhart, which is getting through the Marrow, Deep Docks, Farfields and Greymoor, and then to Bellhart. There is alternative route which is going through Wormways, but the second route is really tedious to do, cause to get a key to Wormways, well, you gotta just get 500 rosaries, and getting those early on is pretty tedious. Like, getting to City of Tears had more potential options. You can get through Fungal Ways with City Crest, you can pull a Shade Skip and get to the Blue Lake, and then to the King Station side of City of Tears. Well, it's a skip, but I guess it works, and it's a pretty easy one to pull off. It's definitely easier to do than farming 500 rosaries early on. Silksong's ending is actually a good ending, kind of, unlike Dream No More in Hollow Knight, cause like Farlum is saved, destroyed but saved, and what I don't like about the ending is that it's open-ended, cause like we see Lace and Hornet wake up near the Lake of Void, but what happened after that is still unknown. It's still unknown what happened with Lace, how experience in being consumed by Void affected her in the long run. It's still pretty open, I would say. And it's unknown what's gonna happen with the protagonist, Hornet. You have 3 seconds to pick the worst area in Hollow Knight. 3, 2, 1. Putrefied Ducts. It gets a trophy for being the most annoying area in the game. It has everything Bilewater did, but being even worse. Bilewater is somewhat manageable with those enemies, but enemies in Putrefied Ducts are even more annoying. Those weird mosquitoes that are flying at the speed of light, or those weird tentacle monsters all over the place. It's truly a vicious experiment. Going to Fleetopia in Act 3 is one of my least favorite things to do, because Fleetopia is in Putrefied Ducts where Pale Lake is, and Putrefied Ducts is annoying to go through. Why couldn't Pale Lake be in Bilewater? Loose area placement is something I already mentioned in my currently last video from my Hollow Knight Silksong playthrough, which I did in November-ish. Currently it's last cause, well, Sea of Sorrow is coming this month, so I will expand that a bit with new vids. But what I mean by loose area placement is that some areas would fit in different places. For example, in Hollow Knight, all areas feel tightly connected to each other. Like, you got the Greenlands, kind of Kingdom's Edge could be near Deepness or the other way around, but I think you get the point. Those feel tightly in their place. While Wormways, for example, can be moved somewhere else. They didn't have to be where they are. They can be put for example, between Sands of Karak and Blasted Steps. They can be even before the main entrance to Forlum. They can be anywhere as long as it's sandy. While Verdania feels still a bit weird to me to be near Greymoor. Originally, Cloverlands was supposed to be where Wormways are, but was later scrapped, and scraps of it were reused for Verdania, and I think it shows. Last 2 points I've written are a bit connected to each other, but now about area placement. For example, Wormways could be a bit tightly with other sand areas, while Verdania could have been where it used to be, near Moss Grotto. Another area which is in a pretty weird place is with Thicket. This area could have been on the right side of Greymoor, and I think it would fit even better than Verdania. I think putting with Thicket in the middle of Forlum is a bit weird. I don't know how to feel about it. And the last one is unfinished areas, and some areas feel really rough in terms of how they're finished. For example, with Thicket should have been bigger. It feels like an afterthought. Lost Verdania feels a bit unfinished because it's made from scraps of Cloverland, and there is the gauntlet in Lost Verdania, and you didn't even have to make the gauntlet because you can take a different route and totally skip it. The purpose of the gauntlet would have been in Cloverland, but in modern day, in the memory of Lost Verdania, is totally unnecessary, is even useless, and is totally annoying to complete. What Thicket is probably the most unfinished area, because there are a total of 3 rooms with Thicket, and I wish there was more, because in terms of design and atmosphere, with Thicket is one of my favorite areas. It looks stunning, it looks so cool, but was cut short and put right above Greymoor. Why? I need more of it. I think putting with Thicket on the right side of Greymoor would have been even a better area for that, because it would allow with Thicket to be its own thing more, because currently it's barely anything. You just go there, beat Father of the Flame, get the mask shot, and go up to the Underworks to unlock a path and never go back there again. If Wood Thicket disappeared, nothing would actually change. They could just put with Fire Lantern tool somewhere else, cause Wood Thicket as an area doesn't have that much stuff. Hunter's March as an area, it somewhat feels finished, but I still wish it was the Hunter's Nest that was later scrapped and replaced with Hunter's March. Hunter's March is a sub-area, a section of Farfield. I don't know why even March has its own map. It feels unnecessary, especially that the Carmelita side of Farfield should have been the March, but it's, Farfield instead. And I think the last thing I wanna touch upon is the architecture of the Morrow. Morrow always feels to me like a maze, and it's really easy to me to get lost in the Morrow. It feels really messy. Most parts of the Morrow look mostly the same. I was running in circles in my first playthrough, and nowadays I just don't remember the path and I follow my intuition and I somewhat find the right way. However, the best thing about Silksong is definitely Sherma. Now I just gotta put it together.